I'm in front of St. Peter Claver Catholic Church here in Macon, Georgia, where there are dozens of people lined up outside, even more waiting in the parking lot. Some have been here for multiple hours waiting in the cold, and by the end of the day, more than 400 people will come through this church. What has brought them here so early on such a cold morning? Well, food. Scenes like this have become all too common in the United States. Over the past few years, more and more people have found themselves food insecure, forced to turn to social services just to survive. A recent report published by the U.S. Department of Agriculture found that 44.2 million people lacked adequate access to healthy food in 2022, up more than 30% from the year before. Unfortunately, initial reports suggest that this year might be even worse. The reasons for this are numerous and complicated, and I'm by no means qualified to speak with any authority on them. We do know that housing and food costs have gone up over the past few years, while many aid programs have been rolled back. Many low-income workers lost their job at the beginning of the pandemic and just never recovered. They racked up debt, lost their insurance, and had to turn to already struggling family members for help. For most of us, it is a problem that feels utterly overwhelming and completely out of our grasp. But it's not like we don't have food in this country. You look around, grocery stores like this are filled with more food than we ever know what to do with, aisles and aisles of food. We could feed every hungry person and have more to spare. The question then is not one of scarcity, but of distribution. A problem that students like these are trying to fix. These are students from Mount DeSales Academy, a Catholic high school that puts mercy at the forefront of everything they do. For them, doing acts of charity, like collecting items for a food drive, isn't anything extra, it's what makes them who they are. All right, what's the strategy?
Okay, so the strategy is, for me personally, I like to pick out cans of food that I think that these people would like. So we're not just buying cans just to buy cans. We're gonna buy cans so they're gonna have a good meal this year. So I'm looking for some green beans right now, because that's my personal favorite. And we found freshly sliced green beans, and those are the ones that we're gonna get.
When I say that it makes them who they are, I mean that it is the defining culture of the school. They love being generous and sharing with others. For their annual can drive, there is a competition between classes, but it's solely for bragging rights. There's no reward, no incentive to spend their money on others. They genuinely just love doing it. And boy, do they go all out. As a small school, just over 400 students for grades 6 through 12, you wouldn't think that they'd be able to do that much. But that is where you'd be wrong. So how many are you bringing in?
I'm bringing in 100. Right now I'm at 50. I got 50 more to go.
All right, how many we get?
22.
How many we get?
I got 36. I don't know what everybody else got.
Is this your cart?
This is my cart.
Or is this the display cart?
Full of chicken, chunky chicken noodle soup.
This would be more than we need, yeah. Fantastic.
I think I won.
So where do you get the money for this?
I have a job, so I work at a restaurant downtown, and yeah, this is where I get the money.
So your parents aren't paying for this?
No, straight out of my bank account.
On average, most people bring around like 25, and we have like 400 in the school. So that's about 10,000 cans right there. But of course, we want to get more than 10,000 cans, so.
What are we gonna get?
We're gonna get 10,000, shooting for 12,000.
12,000, that's right.
Yep. But
You think we're gonna hit our goal tomorrow?
Yes, sir. I think we're gonna hit
Or crush it, right?
Crush it.
Not 10,000, we're going 12,000.
We're going a million.
New records. For some communities, the goal might as well be a million. 10,000 is such an astronomically high number for just one day, seemingly impossible for a school with only 400 students. And yet, last year they collected 9,000 items, and that was a down year. The year before that, they had collected over 11,000, an all-time record for the school. To say that they wanted to collect 10,000, even 12,000 cans was ambitious, but it was also something they expected to do. So, how did things turn out? Let's just say that no one saw this coming.
You all collected 14,752 items of food.
14,721. 14,000.
The Holy Father said, when we are generous in welcoming people and sharing something with them, some food, a place in our home, our time, not only do we no longer remain poor, we are enriched.
Which, honestly, sounds a bit unbelievable. It's hard to even imagine that much food, let alone just one small community providing it. But that's what happens when you have a community dedicated to service. You don't need individual heroes doing impossible tasks. You need everyone working together, contributing what they can.
We are a community, and this is definitely a community effort. We've had some students and some families give a great amount, but even if we look at and take out those numbers, every student has contributed. We have a way that everyone has been a part of this, that this is a way that we all can impart and impact great change, and they've all done it. Every homeroom has contributed, and it has just been an amazing thing to see. We look at this as not just about a number, it's not just about a competition, even though the kids get real excited about it, but that we realize that everything that we collect helps someone. It helps a family. It helps a family not have to choose between warmth and electricity and gas and a meal, or medicine and a meal. And so we look at it a way to just really reach out and help those. We talk to the kids all the time about this is doing God's work. This is answering the call to when I was hungry, you fed me. And this is a way that we can truly put mercy into action and serve and help others.
It means a lot. I'm giving back to families that are less fortunate, and I'm giving my all to help them out during this Thanksgiving year.
This is important to me because we're able to give back to the community and allow Mountain Sales to do this for Big Flavor.
So I think what's great about this is that it's fun, right? This isn't work. We're just having a great time. We love to serve. This is a mercy school, and so this is just who we are. And it's not because we have to, it's because we want to. Best day of the year, right?
Yeah, right.
Think back to your time in high school. Was the best day of the year a service project? I know mine wasn't. But there's something about this day every year, certainly this year, that's electric. Doing something good for others, realizing that we can make a difference in our community is an amazing feeling. An amazing feeling that reaches its peak when the van is finally empty, you look back at what you've just done and say, oh, thank God it's over. That was exhausting.
Woo, how do we feel?
I never want to see another can again.
And then the reality sets in. Then you remember why this is necessary in the first place. For the students, this is a fun day. It's exciting to be in competition, to do some manual labor, to feel good about what you've done for someone else. And then you come to the food pantry on distribution day, and you see the long line of desperation. I can tell you, I look at that line and it's hard not to become overwhelmed. Look at all those people waiting in line for hours because they're hungry. 400 families looking to you just to eat. But I guess the question is, what choice do you have? What can you do but just dive right in and do what you can?
Church started a food pantry 10 years ago to serve the people of the Pleasant Hill neighborhood where the church is located. The first week we had no customers. The second week we had no customers. By the end of the first month we had 8. And last pantry we served 401. So we've grown just a little bit.
They didn't start off feeding 400 families, and there's no way they even could have. But as the need grew, so did their volunteers and their donations and their understanding of how to help. 10 years later, they now know who to call for fresh food, how to get grants, where to store it all, and how to serve the most people in the best way possible.
Well, they get vegetables and soup, peanut butter, pasta sauce, mac and cheese, rice, a lot of, whatever we have donated. A lot of times we have a breakfast item, and then we always try to have some kind of a fresh vegetable. We also pass out a small bag of toiletries that has soap and toilet tissue in it.
All this, not from a major multinational corporation, not from a well-endowed foundation, but a small Catholic church with about 400 families. That's it.
This parish has been absolutely wonderful about this, and all the support they can give us in space and money and effort they do. And I think it's just like me, they just want to do something that they can. I can't solve the big problems, but maybe I can solve somebody's little problem.
You may not be able to solve the big problems of our world, but you can do something. You can help someone. How amazing is it that a church with only 400 families, together with a school of only 400 students, feeds 400 families? When you look at the thousands of cans it takes, the literal tons of food that they move in and out each week, the millions of people without food, most of us can get overwhelmed and be left doing nothing. But look at it on its simplest level. Each family, each student is providing for just one more. 400 families are providing for 400 families. And if everyone who has were to do something for someone who has not, it wouldn't take heroic acts of unbelievable generosity. It would just take each of us doing something small, something manageable, and we could make a huge difference. This is what Mount de Sales Academy does. This is what the St. Vincent de Paul Society does. This is what St. Peter Claver Catholic Church does. And this is what you can do in your own community. I'd invite you this Christmas season to look around and to see who is in need of help. Don't worry about fixing the whole issue. Don't let the enormity of it all stop you from doing something. Find one thing, one person you can help, and do what you can. And if you feel that what's going on in Macon is something that you would like to support, the church would not turn down your donation. Just go to spcccmacon.com, scroll down to online giving, and select St. Vincent de Paul Pantry.